Hi, this is Jim in for BFR. Here's your COVID-19 update for Friday. Today is the 28th of August, and it's just after 4 o'clock. And this is Lester the cat. And what Lester the cat is trying to tell me is it's 4 o'clock and no one has fed me yet, so you could be a food giver and come upstairs and give me food. Now, since I'm going to record this first, Lester the cat may stay there the whole time and we may have other visitors, but let's go ahead and see what happens. All right, today's report. Interesting thing about today is for the third day in a row, we have had testing that's been down below 20,000 from our reports. The testing is down 5,400 from last Friday, and last Friday was not a particularly remarkable day when it came to testing numbers, so that is an interesting thing that we want to continue to keep our eye on. It did not seem to have a big impact on cases. Cases were only down about 7%, but it did have an impact on the positive rate. The positive rate is back up to 12.7%. Now, because of the way math works, the actual 7-day average actually went down a little bit because of the totals that are combined with lower numbers from earlier in the week. I think by Monday or Tuesday, though, if we continue to see low testing but high case numbers, we're going to start to see that number climb back over 10% and get back into the red. Deaths were elevated again today. This is typical of the Friday reports, 78 death reports. It's down 10 from last week, but it is above the 7-day average of 68. Trying to take a look at the trend here a little bit. I looked at the last 4 weeks and said, how does a typical Saturday compare to the 7-day average? And it is typically higher by about 12 or 13 cases on average. And then how does a typical Sunday look? A typical Sunday is lower by about 30 cases. But if you put all that together, look at our 7-day average now, we are averaging at 68. I think the next 2 days we're going to come in about 110 to 120. I put 114 specifically in my note, but I think that could fluctuate a little bit. If we do that, that's going to put us around 450 for the week. That makes it the second deadliest week of the pandemic. It also puts the mortality rate for the week up near the 3% range when we had been around the 2% range. So mortality getting worse as we get these additional deaths into the system and those reports. New hospitalizations has been roughly good news. The 7-day average is down 7%. Not as much as today's number was, but that's still a 14-bed improvement, which is good. And then active hospitalizations dropped down to 2081. And I think, judging by what we've seen from previous weekends, we could go below 20,000 this weekend or Monday, in which case that would be the first time in about 9 weeks. So that would be really good to get back to where we were in late June, early July. From a CCU perspective, that's where there's a bit of concern right now. If we take a look at Region H, that's Oconee. They don't have any beds left again. They cover a pretty wide swath of Georgia there. They have used up all their 40 beds, so I would imagine that we'll potentially see overflow into Region F. That's the Macon-Bibb County area, or potentially Region G, depending on how the geography works. That area has some beds available. Probably not into the Tift region area, if I had to guess, just because that has continued to run high, and it's at 90% now. Interesting from a numbers perspective, the percent of CCU beds in use is 83. That is down a percentage point from yesterday, which is good. The reason we're at that though is we added more beds available to the capacity. The use actually stayed the same over the last 2 days. So same amount of beds in use, more capacity means a lower percent beds in use. So I think the net of that is good, but we want to watch a Coney area over the weekend and see what happens there. From a school's perspective, there were no school reports today. I typically watch Reddit and Facebook for updates. I did not see any. So if you have some, please put them in the thread or message me or put a new post up on Reddit or do something to get my attention, and I will add them to the list. So no school updates today. And I think somebody is feeding the cats because they have all disappeared. So I will just wrap it up for today and say, hope you have a nice night, nice morning, whatever the case may be. Have a great weekend, and I will see you back here tomorrow.